All right, so a pleasant good afternoon to you, Honorable Lary Younquo, and the listeners across the world. My name is Prince B. Moba, and welcome. This is Focus on Liberia TV Live. We here in the company of Nimba District Number 8 Representative, Honorable Lary Younquo. He is the chairman on governance and government reform at the House of Representatives. We have come to speak to him on national issues, specifically the current amendment of the election law that is before the legislature. So let me say, Honorable Lary, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so for the benefit of the listening audience, tell us who is Honorable Lary P. Younquo.
You said it all. I'm currently representing the people of District Number 8 of Nimba County, and I'm in my second term. So I came here since 2012. So we are moving gradually towards 2023, meaning that will be the end of our 12th year. I've been on this committee on governance, for the entire time I've been here. The first three being a member, and then the remaining ones I've served as chairperson since then.
All right.
So simply that's what I can say about my. People like us, you can only present us. You can introduce us because it depends on the audience.
Yes, exactly.
So basically, the fact that I'm a lawmaker now, it eclipses almost everything that that I ever did. We're fighting to get to where we are.
Great. So, will you be recontesting?
Oh, sure, yes. I accepted the request of my people to go for the third term, and they are working vigorously to ensure that I come back to continue to serve them the way I'm doing.
All right, so as chair on the committee on governance and government reform, what is the responsibility of the committee at the House of Representatives? What do you do?
Well, it's anything that has to do with restructuring the government or running government with high degree of transparency, maintaining rule of law. It's all about governance issue, and then government reform, like you want to restructure some existing agencies, or existing ministries or agencies, state-owned enterprises. Those laws are all issued, like, for example, the Local Government Act, preside over them. We're talking about the referendum that just passed, the consultation that led to or writing those propositions were headed by a joint committee that we headed, and then the issue about the Local Government Act has a lot to do with whether or not superintendent should be elected or appointed, and all other issues. So that's all basically why. So you can't talk about restructuring any agency or government without our input. We almost work like the Judicial Committee, which has to give a legal flavor to whatever we do. They have to look at it to see whether it does not conflict with existing laws and the rest of it. So the governance committee is having oversight over the governance commission, as to, because that's the think tank of government that comes out with those things that need to be done. Like you talk about whistleblower act, you talk about witness protection law, you talk about LACC revision, you talk about even what you spoke about earlier, the election law reform, and just about anything that has to do with restructuring of the existing laws is where we are normally heavily involved.
Thank you so much. So let's get to the meat of this interview. The legislature has been working on amendment of provisions of the new election law, and I'm told the Senate has its version of the amendment, and it's before the House. It came from the House to the Senate, back to the House, and then I'm told that the two committees may have been meeting also. I don't know how it looks like. But the main reason we came to you are chair on governance and government reform. In the entirety, how do you look at the provision that are talking about the resignation of magistrates after 90 days of the law being passed? How do you look at that? That's our focus. and other provision in the amendment?
Well, I'm not sure whether that law has returned to the House.
Okay.
And when we passed it, we didn't even talk about removing any magistrates. We've had a lot of consultations. You know, the women are heading this reform because they wanted the aspect of 30% in the election law to be placed there in a more clarion way. The old one says political parties should endeavor to ensure that 30% of their nominations to the election commission of any candidate should be at least any gender. But then endeavor to ensure was vague, so nobody bothered. You go to them and say, yes, we endeavor, but we couldn't get it. So they wanted it to be more forcefully stated. And so the version that came was that political parties sure, now it will not be may endeavor to, but shall ensure that at least 30% of its nominees to the election commission for public office should be of either gender, meaning that now it is the women that will be benefiting from that 30%. If possible, the women could overtake. Even when most of our schools, the girls are leading our men. So maybe during their generation of leadership, the women might be leading, and then the men might be seeing one thing. So you don't want to make a law that will only suit one gender. So that statement was there, but that's about, I think, section 4 or article 4 of the Constitution. So we were basically concerned with that, plus issue that if you were carried on voter registration and the Constitution says person 18 years and above should cast ballot, you must capture those that will be 18 at the time of the election and not at the time of the registration. So because of that, we have disenfranchised a lot of people during the past election. You are registering about 16 and a half years old. It's not registering, even though you are registering voter 1.5 years to election. 17-year-old person is not registered, but by the time of the election, they are all past 18 years. So that law has encapsulated everybody that has reached of age of consent. So those are issues we're really on. But the issue about getting rid of magistrate, no. In as much as we are not even talking about getting rid of the commission itself, like they did in the case of the Liberia anti-corruption, which is also problematic to some of us, because that was not passed by us. Then this one is coming. You live in a whole commission itself, which is a presidential, appointment, which is high profile, and then you're supposed to make a law that is going to do the executive job. We are the lower house, do not know about it, and we are prepared to ensure that it does not appear. Now, because of the outcry, the reason why I told you I'm not sure it has come to us is that because of the outcry, some of the senators, I've heard them, even as of last night on one of their published shows, they are saying that they have worked and they will work with the committees and they are part of it to ensure that that one is scrapped. And so basically, this is my first time hearing this kind of law, because we've always been aware of ex post facto law you pass today should not be applied to existing situation. Even if you say that upon the passage of the law, all vacancies, all positions of certain magnitude will be declared vacant, I don't know how possible is it, but what you need to do is that the guys that are already there will have to serve their term. And even if they are not turning position, they are almost classified as civil servant. And you don't make law to just put people at a job. So basically, if we were to come back to the floor and a conference committee is set up, we will definitely be recommending that it be removed, because that's what Noah put there, and it's against the law. The Constitution says any law contrary to the Constitution is notwithstanding, and that particular law, I think we are trying to do the executive job.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question. You remember the legislature, but one would be wondering, what is the motive? People are now saying that because you're going back for elections, so you want to have magistrates that will be decent to your tune during election time. What would be the motive for, you work in hands for, that is, is if you work on an instrument, you send it to the house, they send it, they might concur directly or they do some provision, but to go to automatically insert something that you did not do.
Well, I don't like to impute motive into what is there. It is our right to make laws, and sometimes laws are good and some laws are bad.
Okay.
So they thought they were trying to clean the system, but in doing so, it looks like we are dancing to the tune of certain people. Some of us who are going to elections do not feel that that's the way to go, even if we have problem with them. If we restructure, and we've had the election law, we pass is calling for the restructuring of the election commission, which the president does not just sit and say, let me bring any 7 president and nominate them for confirmation. We are saying now that it should be the involvement of the civil society, which includes the press, Union of Liberia, the Legal Bar Association, the women, and you understand? And all of those things should be, any 10 president, for example, and recommend them to the president. And the president can take any 7, provided the chairperson will be of either gender, and then the co-chair should be the other gender. And of course, they don't have to come from the same country, and they have to have certain age limit. Even the process of adjudicating electoral disputes, we try to truncate the process and make it more refined and also straight to the point. Instead of saying you have to report neck to ASF, but first reporting to the magistrate or the hearing officer at the level of your electoral district or at the level of the electoral region. When they finish hearing it, you're not satisfied, then you take it to the capital, to the national headquarters, where they will have to send it to the senior hearing officer, and the decision is made, and you're not satisfied, then you go to the board of, that's long time. So we have proposed in that law the establishment of a tribunal, a special court to deal with election matters. From there, it goes straight to the Supreme Court. So you have a time frame within which you do those things, so that the election commission magistrate that is in the field cannot be the one to go through it. Then come the election commission is a CSA as a party and also a judge at the same time. But this time, the election commission will be seen as a party. If you felt cheated at the center, you are holding election commission responsible because they recruited that magistrate and sent him there or her there. And so instead of doing it, then when you go to the Supreme Court now, the election commission has a lawyer to defend her. And it's now you won and you don't want your victory to be taken away. You have to sack the lawyer. No. That one, it will be straightforward. The election commission is the one that will be finding a lawyer to that tribunal. And when it is done, so that's why you go to the Supreme Court, and then one time hearing you gone. So these are issues we're working on. We were thinking about changing the election day, but it is constitutional. So you cannot touch it unless you go to referendum. We're thinking about even the issue of by-elections. Liberia cannot afford those resources. So instead of having by-election, which requires universal suffrage, we were thinking that either the party that is losing this person should be asked to bring somebody. So the cost of replacement will be on the party. Or a county from which, or the district from which the vacancy is created, you allow a certain district council to go and accept nomination, and election commission only need to pay DSA and logistics for a member to go and preside over that. You understand what I'm talking about? At no cost to central government, but will cost him millions of dollars. Look at senators and representatives. You want to become senator, you leave. Like last year we have 5 senators
contesting.
More than that, but 5 won. We created that vacancy. So if we have in place a way where the party will only go, or the county or the district will only go and decide what to do, the election commission will save those millions of dollars that we need now for the real election. America, with all the trillions of dollars, does not go through election to have replacement. When Barack Obama became president, he was a senator. He called on the governor of that state to find somebody to replace him. That's the kind of thing somebody was taking. He was taking bribe for somebody to have him replaced, and he fell in trouble. So we need to do those things, but you can't do so because it is constitutionally provided, and that's we're waiting for maybe after the election so that the new government will start doing that. And no matter you don't want to wait on the 2 years of election before you do a referendum.
So meaning you'll be calling for
obviously
referendum so the law can be changed.
Obviously. There are a lot of things that need to be changed in our constitution that we can't do now because any attempt for you to do it will feel that you are trying. Besides that, there are laws that talk about if you want to do major reform on the election law, you can't do it less than 1 year away. So the fact that we are holding this thing until we close in 7-8 days time means that the law may not pass, and if it doesn't pass now, we'll come back, it will be less than 1 year away. Even if it does pass, it's not going to carry that issue of completely getting rid of existing ministerial positions. Why do we do so? Last election, when Madam Salif invited all magistrates to our house for consultation, I can remember I was in the field campaigning. People who feel that most of the time it's not only about knowing, but those who will see it will be verbose about it. I was called in the field and I was told that the president is meeting with magistrates as we speak to you. It was a concern, and obviously we know where the election went. So those are the people at the battlefront of the electoral process. If you want to tamper with them, it's a cause for concern. So we want transparency, and on the basis of good governance, we reject it at all levels. And I think the message has resonated very well. There are some people who are even on the committee on election and inauguration at the level of the Senate have promised that they would make sure that it's taken from there. So if there are other changes there, then it will lead to us having a conference committee. Like today, I'm presenting the election, the report on the election, on the census today. We received the document from the census, from the Senate about the date of the census, and we are doing our due diligence. We'll be reporting in a few minutes from now. And so if there are any reasons for us to go for conference committee, then that will be done. Otherwise, in that if we concur the way it came, then obviously we'll move forward with
the census.
With the census.
As been proposed by the Senate.
Proposed by the Senate, so that Liberia can be part of the Committee of Nations that is in compliance with the 2020 round of census.
All right, two more questions. Portion of the proposed amendment in the election law also calls for diaspora Liberians to register in our elections. I don't know why you read that. What are you looking for you, or it was done by the Senate? What do you make of that?
Well, we propose, for example, I always envy the Guineans. Guineans did not get into democracy until we have tasted ours. Okay. But yet they are mature. When we are driving and the Guinean embassy is right on the boulevard, Dublin Boulevard, we normally see them online casting ballot. Yeah. So what they hold distrust when you put the safeguard in place. Especially in most of us, our people are in the diaspora, they are in the United States, they're in advanced countries. Everything there, the data is new. I mean, social security number, information is there readily. And you understand? So any name given to you, you can't check it with the database of the state. And once you know where it is, and then each political party of interest normally have the approved voter registration document in their hand. They can even counter check. And also, they all disbelieve and things. So we felt that everybody does not have to physically come here to register. Right now, next month, registration is starting. So you will not want to say. So yes, I am aware of that. Even the issue of the price, the cost of registration, were considered
from the president.
Yeah, we try to double it. If it was fair or too high, arbitrarily people threw the thing out and say one of the way we pay $500 for registration, and we wanted it to be $1,000, and the Senate $1,500, vice president $5,000, then president $10,000. But people felt it was too much again, and they said let's go back to status quo so that the cost of registration cannot be used as a way of restraining people or serving as a disincentive for even the best brains. Best people prepared to take care so they can be left standing on the window. Get what I'm saying? And so that has become the issue. So even the version that normally people quote with a huge amount did not come from us. I don't know whether somebody was reading from the old script, but what I know, we went to Farmington, or we went to Buchanan, or we went other places to vet these things. Those figures came. Even when as far as RLJ. Those figures came, and we either said we should double it, and later on people said let it remain. I remember that the doubling aspect I know of, but the huge amount they are calling, but I'm happy that the senators said, well, let's go back to status quo entry. And I think all those things, when they come, we're going to zero in on it so that we can be inclusive. But that issue of getting rid of magistrate is completely, it's not, it doesn't only border on plunging the election process into chaos, because there will be a lot of uncertainty as to what is the motive, who is behind this, because not everybody that is a magistrate is a partisan or is sympathetic to whether the opposition or the ruling party. They may be there just strictly in the middle, right? So you don't, it depends on what you do, especially so a lot of transparency mechanisms are being introduced in the process. You're talking about biometric registration, and immediately after you are cleaning up, each party is supposed to have its own copy, and then the census, by God's grace, is coming to serve as you remember the 1927 election where T.J.R. Faulkner and one of the presidents were running. The president had a vote that did not exist. And they beat T.J.R. Faulkner with over 150,000 when there were only 27,000 votes in the place. So when you have a census, it's a baseline data that you can peg 18 years and above against, and then when you talk about voter registration, if it is inflicted beyond the existing statistics and you don't need consultation on that. I'm a demographer. As soon as you get that, you go straight to the permutation, you go straight to the drawing board, and you get your 18 years and above, you extract the foreigners who are not supposed to register from there. You know the actual number that's supposed to register if they were to all register. Then you just start posting against with the actual number of persons that will register. So you know that nobody is going to inflate any number anyway, so that you can use it tomorrow to do some dubious thing. So those kind of things, we can't be surrounding it with transparency. Then we want to, the people, the architects, then we want to play with them. So I think the message has gone wide. We are waiting for that. And we came back to close on the 13th, and today being the 6th, I think we got about 1 week from now. So all other things on our desk, we came to do the Senate confirmation of the Chief Justice. That was the Senate prerogative. The Senate are also supposed to go together to film with the census date. We are responding to their census. They are hopefully their reports favorably today. And there are other laws that came. We will deal with them as they come. But the main reason for which we came, I think we are dealing with it. So we don't want to let our people go without addressing some of the key issues.
Finally, Honorable Representative, the issue of the biometric registration that was announced by the Election Commission chairperson, what do you make of that? Is Liberia prepared to go that route?
Well, yes, nothing like trying new technology. In fact, that is going to put a lot of uncertainty to rest, in that there have been accusations, and a lot of people have been arrested at a certain point in time with some dubious voters' card, and people have been saying that some will go for the forms. It's like 3,000, you look for a way and get it, something like by the way, and then you take it and put your own people on it. So when they come, because of the way the election process goes, the observers don't really know what the presiding officer has in his book. You come there, they call you John Brown, and if they already got a number of people there that they want to allow them to vote with what they have in their hand, they normally give any name to the president. By then, you are the one that give it to you, you go knowing fully well that you will vote in a certain direction. So the actual people, when they come, then they say your name is not here, go to Bureau, even though you're supposed to be on the old road. You know, all other things will be laid to rest. Then they multiply the duplication. Guys that were induced with resources will register, for example, here in West Point, and then they will take $20 or so, go to Nimba and register. Time come, they go early and vote, and maybe they travel to that state and catch their ballot in the evening. You understand? So all those things will be checkmated, because with your fingerprint biometrically being captured, and only one fingerprint per person in the world, if you were to register twice, one will be automatically nullified. Since you don't want to be running after people to prosecute them, the only solution is that they will not be allowed to vote, or only the one that is registered earlier will be able to vote, and the rest you will not be able to make use of it. So it will be cleaned up before that time, and all elections, all political actors, as well as political parties and coalitions, will have those things in their hand so that they can do their own test only. I think I appreciate that. The only thing is that we are being cautioned to ensure that that technology is tested. We need to know where they got it from.
Do we have the time?
Oh, well, from now to next October is
It's a good time.
Yeah, so because when you know the make of those things, the industry that produce it, and people can do the background check where has it been used before, what are the lessons learned, so that we can be buying pig in the bear. When they go run and then they say, oh, that technology fails. Like the sensors we're doing now is going to be biometric, fresh for its kind. Again, so I told them the electricity is not, network is not. They said, no, what we do is that you will do all your enumeration wherever you are. Anytime you hit where network is, everything flow to Monrovia right away. And then people will know that there will be no under coverage. The same thing is going to happen here. And so I think the country is getting, we are supposed to be coping with the new trend. The whole world is becoming technology, almost moving towards technology. And so we cannot be always sitting down with a huge number of physical registration and the rest of it. So I think I'm in favor of it, except that those who know about it, due diligence must be done. And I was very happy I read the paper today that the Election Coordinating Committee, which is a civil society group, is appreciating it, except that it's cautioning us to know the source of that machine, what is their track record, where have they done it before, what are the lessons learned, and what can we do to make sure if there are any problems so it cannot recur in our election, because this is a very serious election.
Thanks. So, thanks for speaking to us. Anything further as we leave?
No, I'm very happy about that. Today we will be reporting. The Joint Committee has agreed to concur with the Senate, and they may not have said anything about the corruption at the institution that's supposed to do the census. So as part of our recommendation, we are including that Samuel Towe, who happens to be the chairman of the board of legislators. And the legislators board is a major board, it's an interagency board, it's also international flavor leading. Because you have the UNFPA on it, you got the EU, and you understand, WHO, you got international organizations on that board, plus Minister of Health, Minister of Education, National Security, of course, the Religious Council, Muslim Council, President, it's a multifaceted commission because it has something to do with the number. So if you are presiding over it, and then you, because you are head of the planning machinery of the country, and appearing before the representative of the people to bring your people to tell us, even in peacetime, what you are doing, until you have the place has been involved now into corruption, where the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission has indicted 4 persons, including the Director General, the Deputy Director General for Administration, the Deputy Director General for Coordination, and the Controller. And we're not saying they are accused, they have been indicted, and then nothing is being done by the board. And there's somebody who is not only illegally acting, but is also an indictee, and nothing is done. Since when they go on, I'm afraid.
You're going to lead them there and conduct the census?
Well, we do not fire people. So the recommendation is that since they go on, but the board chair should come here and be told to take immediate action. And I, as a demographer, a man who has conducted census not only in Liberia, but outside of this country on United Nations behalf, people will soon say we were here. What did we say? So we want to make it clear that those guys that are indicted must recuse themselves from the census, that those who are prepared handle it along with the international community, so that credibility does not set in to nullify our results.
So if I'm getting you right, all the names you call earlier on should recuse himself, for the entire process. That's what you're saying?
But that's it. We have forced the government to prosecute. Okay. We passed a law that gave prosecutorial power to LACC directly. You understand? And so if they had not done what they did, when the law we made it clear, the people say that the other people should apply as a sense that we don't have that commission now. So if the government does not, we don't want to hold them responsible. But when the American people read it again, they will say, okay, we are condoning corruption by looking at people who have siphoned several thousands, if not hundred thousands of dollars from the census fund to be playing this key role in that place. Maybe when those guys really understand, it will be going. But we have to play our role. And they can recuse themselves. As a technician myself, they're not going to affect the job. Okay. Because people are trained already by the very sensor is to the level of master degree to handle it.
If they do not?
I have played my part.
Okay.
I have played my part. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, the voice of Honorable Lary P. Younquo. He represents Nimba County District number 8. My name is Prince Moba, and this is Focus on Liberia. You've been following. Let me say thanks to our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Dennis Jar, living in Atlanta, Georgia, the United States of America. Also, thanks to Mr. Anthony C., who is the Operation Manager there in the U.S. Also, thanks to Mr. Theophilus William, who is the Country Director here in Liberia. I'm Prince, also reporting for Pram FM. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you.